Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, I suggest that you go watch that first and then come back to this. If you already have, let's dive right into everything I have to say about starting to wear the hijab. Before we get into the video, I want to give you a disclaimer. None of my tips or advice will be about finding the right hijab style or material or finding ways to look prettier in it. Even though I talk about that sort of thing, I make tutorials, I talk about which material of hijab is better for what sort of occasion. And all of those things are true, but for this video, I need to tell you to not stress about your appearance. Your hijab is so much deeper than just the way you look in it. And it's a journey. Once you put it on, inshallah, it's a lifelong journey. You will figure out the hijab style, you will figure out what materials work for you, you will figure out what you want to wear to a wedding versus what you want to wear every single day. It will all fall into place. All of those things are secondary. They don't matter as much. I promise you, you will feel comfortable in it. You will feel beautiful in it. You will get to a point where you don't feel comfortable leaving the house without it, and seeing yourself with your head covered just makes sense. Your eyes will get used to it. Your heart will get used to it. The people around you will get used to it. Your outfits, your wardrobe, your shopping, everything will adjust to you making this decision, but you can't put all of those things at the forefront. Keep Allah and your relationship with Him as the forefront of this decision, and everything else, I promise you, is going to fall into place. Having said that, I have yet to see anybody who doesn't look absolutely beautiful in the hijab. Especially people who just start wearing it. You guys, you glow. So trust me when I say that part of it will all work itself out. You need to actively push those thoughts outside of your head and focus on the why of this. Now that I've gotten all of that out of the way, let's actually get into the video. I have so much to share. One of the first pieces of advice I have for you is to keep the decision of wearing the hijab to yourself for a while. At least in the beginning, keep it to yourself, have it be a conversation between you and Allah, and have this be a decision that you take on your own without having a lot of outside noise come in. I know we want to reach out to people, we want to ask for advice, but there's ways that you can do your research and contemplate this decision without involving other people. Focus on making lots of dua, having lots of conversations with Allah, all of those conversations that you want to have with other people, have them with Him. Pray tahajjud for it. I feel like the more you keep it to yourself, it's like this beautiful little secret that you have when you're considering to put it on, and it's just something between you and your Rabb. Secondly, you need to realize that this is an act of worship. You need to prioritize it as that. Allah's pleasure and strengthening your relationship with Him is the number one reason that you're doing this. That has to be the intention, that has to be the reason, that has to be the goal that you're trying to achieve through wearing the hijab. The hijab is not the end goal. The end goal is Allah's pleasure, and the hijab is just one other step that you're taking to be closer to that goal. Keep this intention at the top of your reasons and let it guide your journey, let it guide you through everything else that you do. Another piece of advice that I have for you is to transition slowly, but not with the hijab. What I mean by that is I don't really subscribe to the idea where only put it on as, start with a dupatta, maybe showing a little bit of your hair, or you're not wearing it properly, or you're wearing it some days and not the next. Give it your all. Start covering your head properly from the get-go. It is much easier to take this step all the way instead of adding little steps for yourself. It's already a big change. Don't add more steps to it. Your transition can be slow and will be slow with other things. Maybe you slowly start transitioning out of certain friend groups or transitioning out of certain habits after you put it on. But with the hijab itself, I would not recommend transitioning slowly into it. I know this is like contrary to popular advice, and I understand that it might not work for everybody, but my advice would be, and this is what I did, and I'm so glad that Allah just made it happen that way, is that I put it on properly from the get-go. And I think actually, like, the way I observed my hijab when I first put it on was the best I have in my entire life. Except that this is a big change, but all only good. You have to embrace all the goodness that comes from it. There's nothing bad that can come out of this, whether it's distance from people, whether it's changes that you feel within yourself, anything that comes from this, this will change your life. But you have to accept and believe that any of the changes that come as a result of you putting on the hijab are changes that are coupled with khair. This is probably something you're not expecting me to say, and this is actually something that I realized only 4 or 5 years ago, is that be very mindful of the hijabis that you follow on social media. Absolutely follow a lot of hijabis. Follow people who dress modestly, follow people who inspire you to be better, but that is exactly it. Just be very mindful of who you're following. Absolutely, everybody is on their own journey, and I'm not saying this from a place of judgment, but from a place of I want to be influenced by somebody who's better than me. I suggest that you follow hijabis whose hijab is better than yours, who dress more modestly, who are striving to be better as well, but they're already at a place where you want to be, instead of following people who might not be observing the hijab properly. Even if that means like unfollowing me, like I'm not perfect with it and I know that. Don't normalize that for yourself. Just continue to strive to be better. And this is not advice to like isolate yourself from anybody or think of yourself as better than people, but at the end of the day, we are human, we are impressionable, and if we see something enough times, we're going to feel like it's okay. If you're in the phase of almost putting the hijab on, or you already have and you're doubting whether you're good enough for it, please just accept that you will never be perfect. You will never be perfect enough for the hijab, but the beautiful thing is that you don't have to be. Allah has never ever expected perfection out of you. He has only ever wanted progress. And so don't put those conditions on yourself when even He hasn't. Don't think, oh, I'm not regular with my prayers yet. Once I am, then I'll do this. Oh, I want to start reading the Quran every day first. Once I have that habit, then I'll start wearing the hijab. I haven't left that habit, or I still have those friends, or I still go to those places. Don't let those hinder you from doing this. Take it as an act of worship. Aapko har cheez saath leke chalni hai. And honestly, somebody said this to me recently as well, and it's so true. Your hijab will actually help you with your prayers. Your hijab will actually help you stay away from certain people in certain places. Don't take it as all these conditions that you have to meet to get to the hijab. It is just an act of worship. Don't delay putting the hijab on now just because you think, oh, what if I can't keep to it? Trust me, Allah will make it easy for you. My last suggestion, and probably the one I feel the most passionately about, is to embrace this transition, embrace the spiritual growth. Putting on your hijab will unlock this new level of faith, will connect you to your religion, will connect you to Allah, will connect you to yourself in a way that you haven't felt before. It will make you feel good about yourself, you will feel confident, you will adjust to it, and you will absolutely glow. Like, I don't know a single new hijabi who just isn't glowing. And there you have it. These are my top tips and advice. Remember, this journey is personal. It is between you and your Rabb. Keep your intentions pure. You have no idea how easy it is on the other side of putting it on. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. Comment and tell me if there's anything else you would have added to this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, take care and assalamu alaikum. Don't forget to like this video, share it with a... You might think that share it with my channel for more content like this.